comedy. Hello, you mind movers. Welcome to Moving Minds Studio. I am joined by Ryan George, Brandon Calder. I'm Sam Brisson, and this week we're talking about influence in television shows. Guys, this week I don't even know how to get into it because I have a lot to say, but I don't want to say too much. But we want to talk. I want to get into the conversation of the influence that television has on people. Media, since the beginning, like that's the whole point of media, right? Is to influence people that are watching it. Indeed. So let's focus on television only. And before we get into stuff, do you guys have... Like, my main question is, have you guys watched a show or have been watching a show? I want to start, like, earlier in life. I want to start as kids. Do you think there's a show that has influenced you with how you are today? Like, your state of being?
Man.
Tough question, right? That's why I'm saying, like, we're starting...
Sesame Street.
But that's kind of what I want to hear. I want to hear those kind of things.
Well, probably. I mean, we learned values from, like, Disney stuff and... Sesame Street. I learned that trust any large birds that you see.
Speak to men in garbage cans.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Sesame Street was a horrible show. This man's in the garbage. I trust you.
I wouldn't be surprised if they came out later and were like, Sesame Street was just some guy tripping on drugs the whole time. It's like, hey, bird.
When you think when it started, like that would have been.
Yeah, it's probably how it started. Like it was just like some guy like tripping on drugs.
Like, look, I put my hand in this and I'm starting to talk. This is like a puppet. Wait, can we influence kids with this? But yeah. I'm guessing you watched Sesame Street, Brandon?
Yeah, I love Sesame Street. I mean, the Magic School Bus had like a huge impact on my life. I mean, I learned a lot of things. I learned that a pickle was just a cucumber. That was a big deal for my life.
And it's not just a cucumber.
Is there anyone watching this just went, oh my God, you're right.
Yeah.
A pickle is a cucumber.
I mean, we learned a lot of things, but in terms of
influence.
Influence and like life values, I can't pinpoint where it came from, but it must have because
for sure.
You know, when my parents were busy, I would watch TV and the colors would raise me.
Yeah.
So this is why the topic is interesting of influencing, because you don't realize when you're influenced by something, right? It just kind of passes and you kind of accept it, but the fact that you're accepting it is because it may have influenced you or like changed your mind about it.
Yeah.
And I went back to like thinking as a kid, and it was like the Sesame Streets. When we were watching it, they're showing you how to grow up, how to be polite, the ethics, the morals, and all that. And I don't. Do you guys know any of children's shows that are on today? Because I don't know anything about kid shows.
I had this conversation the other day, and I think a lot of it. I think it was with you.
It was with me.
Yeah. But I think a lot. I mean, I do. I'm still a child at heart, so I watch a lot of children-oriented shows.
But do you think it's as good as it was when we were kids?
I don't know if it's as good. I mean, nowadays it's a lot of like. Actually, it's been a few years, but like iCarly and like the Miley Cyrus show and like it's all those type of shows. I don't think we didn't have that back then. We had like more like Saved by the Bell and thing like that, but it wasn't the same.
And you watched the Hannah Montana and all that?
I watched a few iCarly episodes.
And
once.
Did they ever like talk about like serious issues?
I think I'm pretty sure there's a few episodes that got like super serious and a little bit dark and like. So it does exist that they do that. I'm pretty sure.
Even like sitcoms, I remember as a kid there was one episode where like a kid had a gun and there was like no laugh track and
Degrassi.
I don't know. No, it was like
Somebody's still talking iCarly.
Not when Drake. No, but it was like one of those. It might have been like I don't know, like that Damon Wayans sitcom with like a laugh track. Yeah. But then like one of the kid had a gun and it became super serious and there was no like it was like you don't do that.
Yeah.
And it was like they were really trying to push.
Yeah,
I feel like I've seen that. I feel like sitcoms usually have that one episode where like let's get serious.
Yeah, which is cool. I mean, there's the one scene in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air that you guys obviously know I'm going to talk about. Like, I think I probably mentioned it before. Was that in there? Okay, there you go.
Because I wanted to throw it at you because you've spoken about that scene so many times.
That moves me every single time, and it's just like it's the scene where where Will is finally, his dad comes to see him, and he kind of abandoned him his whole life, and he's like, you know what, at the end of this, you're gonna come with me, we're gonna go back to wherever. And as Will's ready to go,
West
his dad's
Philadelphia.
like, huh?
Go back to West Philadelphia.
Born and raised. It's like, his dad, at the end of it, his dad's like, look, we can't go together. And he's like, it's cool, it's all right. And then his dad leaves, and then he just breaks down, and it's like, it's such till this day, if I watch it, I'll cry. It's so powerful. And
but did it influence you in your life, your day-to-day life?
Probably made me cry a lot more in life.
I think it made people realize that it's not all fun and games, and like sometimes expectations should, like, they're not going to meet your. It's not going to be your reality. It's going you can get crushed even though you have high hopes for things, and not to. But I mean, and then like, I think parents learn from Dr. Phil.
Cash me out.
How
I
about
won't do it.
Uncle Phil, the way he reacted to that,
it was so beautiful. Oh my god,
was a good lesson to parents.
Yeah.
And like, we're not at that stage yet of seeing the parent side of things. And we've grown out of the teenage phase and all that. So it's like, can we still, like, at this age, one of my questions was, can we still be influenced by media at our age, knowing what we know, that like media is used to influence us, or are we just critiquing and commenting on things without being influenced?
I think it still has a huge influence, because I'll watch like an action movie, and I'll be like, man, I gotta pumped. Work out. I'm gonna get buff. And I'll watch like a serious movie. It totally
it affects you. I think, like, I still get that reaction of, like, back when I used to watch Power Rangers, you finish watching and you're doing backflips off the couch and stuff.
I'm just basically just reading my points.
Nailing all
I'm loving this. I'm loving this.
But I mean, that's what it is. But I mean, as a kid, Power Rangers, it definitely had some sort of effect on me, because I felt like I was
Ninja
cool.
Turtles.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles. It made
Mortal
you feel
Kombat.
like cool, and you can do anything. You can conquer the world. And I still get that feeling when I see a good, like, martial arts film. I walk out of the theater a little bit more like
I can do
like,
that.
Yeah, exactly.
I can nail that kick.
So you still feel that. So it definitely does influence you a lot. How long that sticks, I don't know. Like, I think when you're a kid, you're a sponge, so that stuff stays with you for a while. But now, you feel confident for a few hours, and then you're like, what is my life?
Yeah. Absolutely. And especially with now we're getting to the age where there are certain topics that are more recognized and more accepted, like seeing homosexuals in media, portrayed in media. I did a quick research on that, and like Ellen, the show Ellen,
when she just had her
20th anniversary of coming out on that show. And it was a big moment for her to say, like, I'm gonna be the first openly gay person to come out on television as a character, because when she like did it together, she came out as a person and her character came out at the same time, cool. And it was sad to see that the show actually led to the show being canceled, not too long after. And so people weren't ready for that, but it was the step she needed to take, and it changed media forever, because then it allowed shows like Will and Grace to come on. It allowed for openly, even today, to Modern Family, which has the gay parents with the
like most new shows have like
the gay parents.
Exactly.
And really it's funny how people react to it today, where it's nothing.
No one like bats an eye at it now, and I think it's showing how much we've grown, and it's really fucking cool to see that.
Ellen was a pioneer.
She was.
And she even had, sorry to cut you off, she even had Oprah on the show, that episode, to like smooth things over, to be like, this is okay, guys. But then Oprah like went back and received death threats and all sorts of shit. Jesus, bunch of racial slurs and blah 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 blah, just because she was on the episode. Which is nuts.
Ridiculous. It's a television episode. Like, when you break it down, it's like, relax. But that's what media can do, and then it leads to media can completely influence how people deal with things. And because homosexuality has been dealt with so much in media and is so accepted, no one, like, hardly anyone cares about it anymore. Like, people care about it. I'm not saying they don't care, but they're not making a big deal about it. It's which is great. It's pushed away. Absolutely. And after more research, there was also Sex in the City was a big thing that led girls to talk about their sexuality. And apparently there were studies done, and it actually made girls talk to their partners about sexual topics and what they were comfortable with.
And the city.
So. And it spoke about the city.
See the city?
But I mean, how many, when it was popular,
we weren't talking about this.
how many times were people like, oh, you're such a Samantha. Oh, no, you're
People tell me that all the time.
Get it every single
Don't
time.
know what it means.
Yeah.
But I mean, it could have negative effects too, because I did read that this was in 2008. People who watched Sex in the City between the age of 12 and 17 were twice as likely to become pregnant.
Oh, fuck.
What the fuck?
Oh.
What the fuck?
Which I don't understand. In the
crazy,
show,
yeah.
I didn't watch the show, but I'm like, were they like, hey guys, let's not have safe sex?
Yeah.
Between 12,
No, but I think
12 and 17.
that's
12 is a
fucked
dirty.
up. Yeah.
No,
12 is a dirty number.
dirty number for dirty sex.
No, that's
No.
you can't
not.
do
That's
that. Can't get pregnant at 12.
That's not.
And then I'll lead into go.
No, nothing. Go ahead.
You want to talk about 12-year-olds?
No, I don't. I just no.
Good answer. Good answer.
No.
Not touching it. Not touching it.
Okay. No.
And then I wanted to go into reality television. When that came out, people were looking at it and saying like, "Hey, these are real life people." And was there any reality show? Did you guys ever watch reality shows?
Yeah, when they were like starting to become like Survivor, the first couple
Yeah.
seasons, American Idol,
Fear Factor.
Fear Factor.
Yeah, that influenced me. I was eating nothing but bugs.
I was like, Ryan, stop! Like, Ryan, no!
Joe
Rogan's gonna love me. And there was one of the first ones was real. Fuck, what was it called? They lived in a house. It was it was like one of the first. Fuck, and Dave Chappelle did a whole parody on it. Real something. Real
World.
No, was it?
MTV's The Real World.
Real World.
Yeah.
Was that it? Yeah,
so.
that was it.
There's a wrestler that was
on that show. Yeah, that was like one of the first. That was like when that started becoming big, like reality TV shows, and people were like, "Fuck, we don't have to pay people a lot of fucking money, and it's making good money. Let's keep fucking doing this shit." Yeah,
but it's like these are real people, and people are watching it saying they are real people. So I'm wondering, is like, are people being influenced saying I can either be better than this person, or just like I can be like this person? Or like they're showing real life situations, but how much are they actually like fluffing it up, and then people thinking like,
oh, those things are highly scripted. Those things are a lot like,
for sure.
Those things that happen in the show are things that are like they put that in scripts for you to do. They don't give you dialogue. They're saying, look, you're gonna have an argument with her, blah blah blah, and then they
they let them go.
They let them go, and they do that.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, dude, it's not fully.
Yeah, nothing is real in reality. Just okay. We were on Let's Make a Deal in like 2011, and so you walk into on that show. Wayne Brady comes out and he's like, you. In reality, the producers are like, okay, so pick this.
And there was a selection process before the show where everyone stood in a line and they went by one, interviewing us and making notes to be like, who are we going to select for the show? You're right.
And then they placed us in the front row, and like they were pointing at us before the show, and then. Oh, Wayne Brady picked us. Oh, what a coincidence.
That's crazy.
Like we knew without knowing.
I remember that was broken for me, like those reality game shows. When we went to a game show, I forget we knew one of the girls that was in it. Anyways.
Yeah. Matt
it didn't last long.
Anyways, whatever. Yeah, whatever gone. It was. Yeah, it's gone. But that was the first time I've ever seen the behind the scenes of that. And it was like, okay, no, cut. We didn't do that properly. Let's start again. And I was like, oh my God, this is not just.
Did you just yell cut?
Like, it was crazy for me to realize that. But yeah, that goes to say like. But anyways, going back to your point, I think that does have an influence a lot of people seeing, because they, especially when you make it seem like it's the real thing. People are like, oh, this is how this person really is, and then you kind of. I don't know. Like, I feel like that's
they rub off on the people that
they do
look at it
so much more, because you don't have the blanket of saying like, oh, but that's just a character. Like you're seeing a real person. Like, fuck, I want to be like this loser Snooki.
And like, speaking of influencers, today the word influencers gets thrown around a lot with YouTube creators, and we've been called influencers ourselves, by some companies. And we just have to be careful. Like, is there any censor stuff that, like, do we censor ourselves with? Because our demographic is the teen demographic, the demographic that gets highly influenced.
Yeah.
And YouTubers have to, like, realize that they are influenced. Like, there's a reason you're called influencers, because you are influencing people's minds.
Yeah. They have to use Crest white strips.
What?
it's like how did that get to be where YouTube, because YouTube is the new television.
Well, that's like YouTube is just people feel like they're connecting with real people. It's like this person's talking to me.
Yeah, it's you have to kind of be careful. But that goes back to, I think I've had this conversation with someone before about, is it your responsibility? I mean, is it like, should you be aware of the content that you put out there? Like, should you be like, I'm in the limelight now, I need to be careful, or should you just
be yourself
and say, people, look,
and
I
then
have
also
faults,
are you actually being yourself, or are you being a character but not telling people that you are being a character?
Someone said something the other day that really made sense. Like, we're all characters. Wherever we walk the streets, we're all characters. I'm getting super deep.
It's
as
like
soon as you leave here, I'm just gonna cry.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
all I do all day.
We
cry.
do.
It's almost like people have like a moving mind studio.
Oh my god! But it's true. What was your original question?
It was us as influencers. How we create
I think there's
an
absolutely a responsibility. There has to be a responsibility. If you have an audience, you have to have a responsibility. You can, as much as you could have a positive impact, you could have a negative impact. You have to have a responsibility.
Just be aware of your content, because anyone can be watching and take it. They could take it the right way. They could take it also the wrong way. So just be careful. And speaking of awareness, this week, May 1st to May 7th, is Mental Awareness Week. It's a very serious topic, and the media has been exposing this show like crazy because it's the popular thing nowadays. 13 Reasons Why. So I want to talk about that really briefly as an influential show, because people have been talking about the show nonstop about how it's influencing young teens. A very, very serious issue about teen suicide. Brandon, I know you have seen it. Ryan, I know you have only seen the first episode, but you have seen the impact that it's been causing on the society.
I know one reason.
You know one of the reasons. Brandon, do you... Because there are two sides to the story. There are people saying that it went too graphic, it went too intense, they should have toned it down. And there are some people saying that, no, this is the actual thing. What side do you go with?
I think I go with the side that's like, this is the reality of it. I mean, yeah, maybe you should sugarcoat it at the same time, but I feel like people need to know how this is. It's graphic. It's sad. It's all the above. I don't know if sugarcoating it helps at all. Like, I mean, I
agree with you. I think they did a proper portrayal of it.
Yeah.
It focuses a lot on bullying.
Yeah.
I think we have all been bullies and been bullied. Yeah. I think everyone has. Yeah. At some point in their life. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. And that show made me reflect on all the times that I was a bully to someone back when I was a kid, and I actually wanted to message them and be like, I'm watching 13 Reasons Why, and I apologize for saying that there was an earthquake when you were jumping up and down in 7th grade. Like,
you're an asshole.
Right? No, but one moment it flew back to my mind, and I'm like, oh God, what did I do back then? And
but you don't go ahead.
The danger of the show, I think, is not necessarily like I think it's great that people see that they can have a negative impact on things. I think the danger is the glorification of the act of suicide, in that like teens might see this and think like, oh well, this girl killed herself as an act of revenge, and now everyone sees her as this misunderstood it's a very dangerous thing. It's a very dangerous message to like, this will solve all your problems and everyone will understand the real you if you do this. That's super dangerous. I've only seen one episode, but I could see like
you don't want people to say like, I am a Hannah. I'm exactly this girl. This I have no other choice. I have to.
And as graphic as that scene was, I saw like the scene. Like it's. I don't think it's strong enough of a deterrent for people to not like, if they've reached that point. I don't know.
Yeah. I honestly didn't think of that or think that it was glorifying that at all until like afterwards, till articles started coming out, and I was like, oh my gosh, maybe. Yeah, I think it all depends on how how you look at it. If you look at it in a way that how this kind of destroyed, if you look at it from the point of what's his name, the main character, Clay, and how it destroyed him. And I think if you look from his perspective, that's what it will do to people. Around you. But I don't.
Well, it destroyed everyone.
It destroyed
everyone
completely. So if you look at it from that sense of it, I don't think it glorifies it, but I do understand it being like, oh, you left these tapes, and now people are like, oh, you understand her and all this sort of stuff like that. But
it glorifies it in the sense of like, this is a way to get revenge on the people that are.
I understand that. Yeah, I do understand that. I think it just depends how you're looking at it. I wouldn't point a finger and say that you guys are wrong for doing this. I'm not sure, but it does. I've seen recently online people making these memes about like, oh, like let's say your mom said she's cooking pizza and there's no pizza, and then like there's a meme that says, welcome to your tape or whatever like that. Oh. So I've seen a lot of that, and then that's what made me realize like, yeah, maybe this was. I get it.
Like, I think it's how you watch it.
Yeah.
I don't think a group of teens should get together and watch it because they won't get it.
Yeah.
Or they'll laugh about it together because when there's awkward things, you laugh in a group and then they won't get the impact of the message. Yeah. I think teenagers should watch it with their parents because I believe parents are watching this as well, saying, I have to take from this. This is how I should treat things, because I think it's not only influencing teens, it's going to influence the parents and how they're going to react and how they're going to ask questions to their kids when they start seeing things wrong, which is the right thing to do. I think parents need to open the conversation with their kids if they do see a problem coming about. So I think that could maybe be a common ground where it's like, I want my kid, I don't like, because parents were like, I'm not showing this to my kid. I mean, I even heard stories how there were schools banning the talk about 13 Reasons Why because they don't want that conversation in school.
See, but that's bad. That's the fucking problem,
they shouldn't be doing that.
That's the fucking problem. That was a problem in the show, too. The fact that Clay was like, why aren't we fucking talking about this? And that's the issue is like, you don't get rid of the problem by not talking about it. I mean, you should... have a talk about the talk, like have it talk about like, you know, this show is playing whatever, these are the reasons why you should watch it, these reasons why you shouldn't. Just don't ban it because then you're not fucking talking about it anymore, and then whoever wants to be heard is not being heard because everyone's shutting their mouth about it. And I think that's a terrible way of dealing with it.
And I think if you're scared to talk about it directly with your kid, you can use this show as an excuse to talk about it. You're not pointing directly at them saying, talk to me about mental health, but like, hey, you know what went on in this show? Open that conversation, make it as though you're talking about the show. Like, this is the opportunity to do that.
Yeah. There should be like some, like that's a major question that I have, and I think a lot of people have, is like, who does the responsibility fall upon? Does it fall upon Netflix for having made this show, or the author of the book for putting this out there and making this accessible to teenagers? Like, or is it the parents that need to censor it? Is it Netflix that needs to censor it? Like, who stops a 14-year-old girl who's being bullied from watching the show by herself and getting bad ideas? A girl who doesn't have a good relationship with her parents and who won't be able to sit down and watch it with them, and whose school will ban talking about it. Where is the barrier for that girl or that boy, you know?
Because it's very public media to get access to. And on Netflix, you have the full content, but YouTube, all that, you're getting clips, and you're not putting them into perspective, and things can get out of hand quickly. So it's very sensitive material that I think needs to be out there for people to see, but it should be seen in a very, specific manner. And then, sorry, go ahead.
No, you hear me doing my breath. So I do all the time. And it's just talking about influencing. I work, as you guys know, in a college, and I hear students talking about the show all the time. And recently I had a student come into my office talking about, basically, I won't give the whole story, but there was a guy that she like saw for a second, but now he's completely like writing these huge messages and sharing them with people, and she felt uncomfortable. And it was like literally like the day after I finished watching the show, and it made me be like, you go to the counselor, go to and talk to her and tell her you're uncomfortable. I'm like, but she sat and I saw the process of how these students think. She sat there and being like, yeah, but maybe I'm making like a big deal out of it. Maybe I shouldn't do it. I'm not. But I'm like, do you feel uncomfortable? She's like, yes. Then go.
Yeah.
But then she's thinking about what are people going to say about her for going to see this guy. Yeah. The guy's going to be like, what? It wasn't a fucking big deal. I just wrote like this big long novel and showed it to everyone. I'm like, you need to talk to someone.
Yeah.
And that talking about influencing, it literally the day before I finished watching that episode, she came in my office and I said, you go to see her, and she went to go see her. So that was like
great person.
Had a good
thanks
impact on
you guys. I did my job.
And then talking about influencing, does this show, being as explicit as it was and direct and blunt as it was, is this going to influence more shows to be creative, to talk about these subjects more openly? Are there other subjects that are going to be, they've seen this show, nonetheless, what the subject matter was, is popular. They, they made their money off of it. It was a success. It might get a season 2. It did.
It was confirmed.
Oh, it was confirmed
this week, I think.
And people who watch the show, you kind of have an idea of what the season 2 is going to be about. It's kind of open ended, but you see where it's going. But will it talk about other issues that teenagers go? Is this going to be the new era of like in your face, direct? We're not going around things. Do you guys think that what's next in what kind of media? What can happen next with this kind of show out there now? Is this also, to add to that question, is this just a phase? Is 13 Reasons Why going to be forgotten in a month because a new show has come in and people like? Is it just a popular show to watch right now and that's it? And everyone's talking about it because that's the content of the show? And will like flash forward 1 month, 2 months? Are people still going to be talking about mental health?
A lot of questions.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think a show like that will completely leave you. You might forget about it for a bit, but I think this type of subject will help, like it will stick in people's minds now a little bit more. I don't know for how long it will be, but I'm not making any sense right now. But I just think like it does have an impact. I don't know if it'll be everlasting, but I think
you've seen it. It's stuck with you.
It's stuck. It sticks with you. It's not something you forget about. Like especially when something like that comes about. Like the same thing I was saying with the girl who came to my office and I told her to go. I think I will always have that instinct now.
Yeah.
If you've never given too much thought to suicide or teen suicide or I was just reading before this podcast, that's the number 2 cause of death for people between 15 and 34. It's number 2. That's fucking crazy.
It's crazy, man.
So I think that there's definitely value in like having this be a discussion, and hopefully I think it will stick, like you said, with people. I think if you've never given so much thought to something like that and people are talking about it now, like it will always stay with you.
Yeah. And to go back to what you were saying, I think the next thing to talk about is like school shootings and all those things are something that's going to be, I think that will be brought up or should be brought up. Yeah, the serious things like that.
Serious era is now.
Yeah.
But seriously, it is Mental Awareness Week, and if you guys, I know our demographic are teenagers. That's we have statistics to show that. If there is something on your mind, please talk about it. We invite you in Canada, even we have the hashtag Bell Let's Talk, and we invite you to use that and speak openly about what's bothering you. Someone will answer you, I assure you. We apologize for the serious talk.
We don't apologize. Also, I think it's really important.
But it is a very important subject to talk about, and I think we should talk about it, and we have spoken about it. And thank you for joining us. We will be there next week. Please watch us.
Do you want to end with a joke to lighten things up? What is brown and sticky?
A stick. Yeah. Got it.
Brandon probably just peeked.
Yep.
I was gonna say poop.
That was my peek.
You're gonna say poop?
I was gonna say poop.
I will also accept poop.
Please head on over to youtube.com/Moving Mind Studio. Subscribe to us, like our stuff, share our stuff. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. Please send us any questions you may have for us. Did you watch 13 Reasons Why? What was your reaction to it? Did it have a major impact on your life? Is there just something you want to talk about? We will answer you back on our page. Thank you. We'll see you around.
Peace.
Ta-ta.